Tierra de Trigo is another climb from Tenerife, and it's one of the craziest, most enjoyable ones I've ever done. It's also one of the steepest climbs I've ever done, which I found myself saying a lot over the last year after trips to North Wales and the Lake District, but the fun of this one outweighs the scary nature that sometimes comes with absurdly steep climbs. Tierra de Trigo is located in the north of Tenerife, which is less popular for cycling, partly due to the weather, which is generally worse than the south, but there's still a few great climbs which are easily accessible from popular riding areas like Masca. The first time I heard of this climb, I actually thought it was a mountain bike trail, as the hairpins are so tightly packed, but a quick classic zoom around on Google Maps Street View confirmed that it is, in fact, a paved road, and I really wanted to give it a go as it just looked ridiculous. It's not a very well-known or often ridden climb, as evident by the kind of lackluster Strava leaderboards, and this might be for good reason. I decided to ride it on what I thought would be an easy day, although as my route had 2,000 meters of climbing within the first 50k, it was never really going to be an easy day. But even still, I didn't really know what was in store for me. This climb branches off a coastal road near Los Silos, and it's quite easy to miss as it sort of looks like you're just turning into a residential area, and it rolls around a few bends before the fun really starts. I was just riding this at a get up the hill pace, but it would be really fun to do a proper effort up it. Although if you started too hard and blow up, you might end up just grinding to a halt. The gradient displayed here is a bit laggy and tends not to be totally accurate, but it gives you a decent idea of the inclines we're facing. Before you reach the hairpins, there's this initial wall which ramps up dauntingly in front of you. You climb over 1,000 feet in just over 2 kilometers, which should tell you all you need to know about it, but it has to be ridden to be believed. Believe it or not, this is not slow motion. I'm just having a nice little 40 RPM spin. I had an 11:30 on, but definitely wishing I had a 34 in the back. I'll fast forward most of this because it'd be extremely painful to watch 17 minutes of me crawling along at 6 kilometers an hour. Then you begin the hairpin section, and it actually starts relatively gently compared to that initial ramp, which kind of lulls you into a false sense of security, leading you to think that the hardest bit's behind you. You're making left and right turns so frequently that it feels almost comical. And I'm pretty sure that I was just grinning the whole way up here because it's such a weird little climb just to be turning every few seconds. It was quite a different experience from some of the comparably steep climbs I've done in the UK, such as Hard Knot Pass and Melanocoid. Those ones take a huge amount of focus to avoid the puckered road surface and bits of gravel and debris on the road. But the road surface here is so smooth that you can kind of just dig into it without worrying about wheel slip, although you still might do a few wheelies. The road isn't as deserted as you might expect. For some reason Google Maps has a tendency to send cars this way, which is probably a nasty shock for tourists and rental cars, but it's still nice and quiet and you probably won't come across too many people. The scenery is also super cool, it kind of feels a bit Jurassic, lots of nice palm trees. You get such a good view looking down below because you climb so much in such a short time. It's pretty rare to find a climb where the average gradient is so high. There's lots of super tough hills out there, but they often have little sections which ease off, which reduces the average gradient. So when you have over a mile at around 50%, you know it's going to be pretty relentless, and probably have parts well into the 20 plus percentages. I really wanted to take some photos on the bends, but there was no chance I was gonna be able to ride one-handed, as it took full effort and arm strength, of which I don't have much, just to kind of keep moving. I'll just leave this section here for you so you can enjoy my suffering at real-time speed. Videos never really capture how steep it feels, but the walls and houses alongside the road give a bit of an idea. As you can see, my power for the duration of this climb has been pretty pathetic. It's pretty hard to get out any decent power when you're riding at such a low cadence, but I was mainly just tired and enjoying the views. Just when you think you're done, you pass a few houses and it really kicks up again, which is kind of like that first ramp. The end of this climb is at a junction with the TF423, which is a bigger road, and you can continue to climb for quite a while, but it all feels flat compared to what you've just been up. I just absolutely loved riding this hill. I think the best sort of climb is when you get to the end and think, what on earth was that? So this segment was 1.7 miles, 1,268 feet at 14.1%. Took me 16 minutes 45 seconds, super fast, 6 miles an hour, 225 watts, which is not good at all, and an average cadence of a whopping 62 RPM. So that was Tierra de Trigo, a really crazy fun climb that I recommend giving a bash if you're ever in Tenerife.